So I was going to say, thank you.
Fuck Donald Trump.
Not
Yeah,
just
fuck Donald Trump. Yeah, nigga, fuck Donald Trump.
I mean, that could be the intro.
Yeah, fuck. That's such an amazing song. I said, I like white boys, but I don't like you.
Thing is, though, hip hop really did like Trump, though, for a minute.
What? Nelly had a verse about him. Everyone's had a bar about him.
They did, man.
Everyone had a bar about
Hip hop has a
Trump.
lot to
A
answer
lot of these
for.
man, like they've got lyrics that did not age well because of that whole Trump.
A lot of people
Expired
did.
like milk.
Yeah.
Jay's got a couple on Volume 3. He was he sprinkled it.
He's
quite
got a time when the Trumpies only slept in once.
Yeah, see.
Yo, like a lot of man fucked with. It's like Bill Gates. It's a lot Bill Gates was. But Trump was on another level. Those bare Trump bars. I don't like white boys, but I don't like you. Shout out to YG, man.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
What's going on, world? Welcome to episode 40 of the Rhymes Like Dimes podcast with your boys Peter,
Peace.
Mohammed,
You.
and myself, Yemi. If you're wondering why we're laughing, this is our 15th attempt at an intro because we're all moving mad right now. But you know, we're here, guys. What's going on?
What's good, man? How you doing, bro?
Good, man. It's good, man. It's a brave new world out here. You know what I mean? Trump's out of here. You know what I'm saying?
Not according to Trump.
Not according to Trump, but as we're recording, Joe Biden has been announced as the president-elect of the United States, and Trump's taking it really well. He tweeted, I actually won this election by a lot.
That's what he said. He goes by a lot.
I'm not gonna lie, I like that energy though, man.
I mean, he's going to have that same energy.
I love that energy.
He's going to have that same energy when the Secret Service escort his ass out.
Trump came out that same night of the elections and said, yeah, I've won.
For real.
Can we deep here? Pennsylvania was only like 6% in.
Bro,
he came out and
he
said,
said the postal
yep,
votes.
I've won.
He said the postal votes were illegal when they're the exact opposite.
Yeah. And then, but did you know what's weird about Trump? Trump told his fan base, don't do a mail-in ballot. He told all of his fan base, show up on the day of the elections, don't do a mail-in ballot. That's how they're trying to rob us. So now the majority of the mail-in ballots are for Biden. He's wondering why. Because you told your base, don't do mail-in ballots.
How ironic.
Come round. And you know what I love? The seats that cost him the presidential election. Detroit, Philadelphia. That's the shit I like to hear.
Pick
fam.
up the roots.
Hey man, shout out to Detroit and Philly, fam.
And Jill Scott.
Shout out Big Sean.
Shout out to Freeway.
Definitely shout out Jill Scott. But yeah, guys, I mean, congrats to Joe Biden and Kamala Harris as well. She's going to be the first woman vice president and first woman of color as well. So yeah, man, it's crazy. Crazy times.
Hey man, salute to her, fam.
For sure. We are also in lockdown 2.0.
Nice.
You know,
Here we go
it
again.
went into effect this week.
Here we go again.
How are we feeling, guys?
I feel fine, man. I'm in the yard more time, so I feel like I'm on lockdown 24/7. So it doesn't really.
I feel like you said that verbatim the first lockdown.
Yeah, probably.
He said that since I've known him.
So yeah, I'm good. I mean, nothing changed on my side.
I feel you.
It's a fake lockdown to me.
It definitely is.
It's a fake lockdown. The amount of people that are out. Do you remember the first lockdown? McDonald's was closed. Superdrug was closed.
Yeah.
Everywhere was closed. Now, I'm seeing man walking, because I had to go close up my shop on Thursday and Friday. I'm seeing man out, raggle, like people are trying to knock on my door to see if you lot are open.
No one cares, bro.
No one cares about this lockdown, man.
And boy, it's only for a month, so
That's what they
let's
say.
see how.
I just hope they don't extend it, man.
I don't think so.
There's somewhere in the world that needs to see me.
Because even though I like being at home, I still like the option to like go out.
I feel you.
But you don't do it.
That's
No,
the point.
no, because he wants to be in a position of power.
Do you know
To
what it is?
where,
You know how much
That's
of a
all it is.
psychopath you are to say, yeah?
He is.
Don't go out,
It is.
but I want the option to say no.
It is.
That's it,
It is.
man.
But he's like that though.
We all like control, though, innit?
Yeah, we do.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact.
No, especially I mean, I think the last few months have shown us how much people love control,
There you go.
being able to go out on their own terms and that. But you know, buck up. It's a pandemic that's here to stay.
Word.
Word.
So it is what it is. But Pete, how was your week?
Yeah, it's cool, man. Working. And yeah, man, that's it, man. You know, give all glory to God. And
All the
that's all,
time.
really.
Hear that? Short and sweet. Like it. Mohammed?
Hey, man, just been chilling, working. So Arsenal beat United. That's about it.
Now, whenever you ask us this question, like, what do you actually expect us to say?
I mean, not much, to be honest. I just like to be courteous.
Because more time, yeah, and listeners, like, I imagine that every time this question comes, you're not really expecting to hear anything new.
I mean,
On my side, anyway.
I'd like to think that they want to know what you're up to.
It's always going to be the same thing with me.
Even if it's not much. Just double check in.
I watch one football team play football.
Look at this anti guy.
He just don't like the world knowing what he does. Even though
No,
he does.
it's not even that. It's just because I don't really have much to report. Things that I can say on a podcast anyway.
Well, maybe I hold the hope every time we record that you do have actually something to talk about.
Sometimes it can work. Like even when we asked Yemi, "Oh, what did you do for that week?" and then he was at a YouTube party.
But that's Yem though. Yem's like
Yemi
social
lives a
life is
different
lit.
life though.
Yeah,
Yem
Yem lives a
Sky rub
different
shoulders with
lifestyle.
Burna Boy fam.
I mean, we move like drug dealers.
Yeah,
Yem's like out here.
It's true.
So when you ask us that, we're not gonna reveal too much.
True. So shall I stop asking?
No, ask
away,
away
ask
because
away.
it's interesting.
See,
isn't it?
again, like,
Ask away.
what is this?
I may surprise you one day.
But this one,
come out left angle.
You never know.
Mohammed, how was your week?
It was a week. Nothing special, man. Went work.
Yo, he says that verbatim every
All the time.
every episode.
What can I say, fam? Nothing special, man. Went to my shop, closed it on Thursday morning, closed my shop. Friday, I had to come there to do one last thing. Watched Arsenal Pepper United on Sunday.
Pepper, relax.
Pepper United on Sunday.
Pepper, yeah.
They got the pepper in.
Jeez.
It happens.
It's a
Accept it.
Listen, what a difference a week makes, yeah? Because when you lost to Leicester, man, we're fucking burning the house down. And now you've beaten United. Oh, yeah, it's all good again.
It's different when you beat United. We peppered them as well. We didn't beat them. Party is different. Look at my eyes. Party is different
don't wanna
levels.
look
I don't
at
think
your
man deep it. Party is different levels. Gabriel might be the best centre back since Village, but I don't want to talk to him.
Relax.
No,
See, I know you're trolling. But this is, you realize why we hate Arsenal
Yeah,
fans,
I'm
right?
doing it on purpose, though. You know.
Yeah, I know. But some people genuinely believe
Yeah,
it.
100%. I saw someone say he's the best signing since Van Dijk. I'm just like, relax. But no, all just
That's probably Austin Darbo.
what's that?
It's probably Austin Darbo.
Wow, do you know what he used to say?
He
The
has
best
awful.
signing?
He has awful football takes.
What about you, Yemi?
Yeah, man, it's been a weird week, to be honest. I'm on furlough now, which is interesting. The company I work for is hopefully going to be in furlough for just a couple of weeks. But yeah, now I don't work for a bit. So I'm just trying to find shit to do. But other than that, it's been all right. Like, I started on Thursday, so up until then I was working. And since then, I've just been chilling, to be honest, resting.
I don't believe you.
So, sometimes you need that. And here I am.
You went Amsterdam for your birthday. How was that?
Of course, yes. I went to Amsterdam for my birthday. That was good. Smoked a lot. Got very, very high. It was cold and it was rainy, so didn't get to do a whole lot. And obviously it was locked down as well. A lot of places were closed. But, we went to Pata. I bought a nice shirt. I bought the Ajax 95 away shirt.
Okay.
Pata collab. That's really nice. And other than that, yeah, man, it was cool. Like, we chilled, man. We chilled, rested, and it went quickly. Went very, very quickly. But yeah, it was good. Can't lie.
I salute to you, fam.
Thank you,
What
man.
you man be listening to?
Well, before you do that, I want to thank everybody because obviously now we've reached our 40th episode. And, it's a milestone, obviously.
How does it feel?
How does it feel?
40 is a weird number.
It is, isn't it?
40, if
We're middle-aged.
50 is different levels.
We're middle-aged now.
40 is...
It's a landmark.
It's a round number.
Anything with 0 at the end, it's a landmark for sure.
That's the truth.
I'm proud of us though, man. Like, I'm really still enjoying this. I'd be lying if I sat here and said I don't think we'd make it this far because I thought we would. So this isn't too much of a surprise, but I'm still proud that we're doing it though.
Sure.
And I'm still enjoying it. I thought I'd have been sick and tired of you, man, by now, but I'm actually still enjoying this.
The amount of ups and downs we had as well, with lockdown, coronavirus, it's mad to still be here.
Yeah, man. We've been going from strength to strength, man.
Yeah,
So, long may that continue. And obviously, I want to thank everybody who has listened. Even if you've listened to a minute of us from the first episode to now, we're very, very appreciative of it. Shout out all of you. If you want to continue, helping out, obviously continue listening to us. Hit follow on Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your podcast. It really, really helps us. And yeah, man, just stay tuned. We've got a lot to come.
Salute to everyone. Salute to the guests that's been on the podcast.
Salute to all of them as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Peace to the gods and the earths.
Peace to the gods and the earths, for sure.
So Yemi, what have you been listening to this week?
Right, I haven't saluted and said peace to the gods and the earth since like the early episodes, innit? So I've got to bring it back.
Oh yeah, well, back when we thought you were 5%er.
Yeah, man.
But what I've been listening to this week, to be honest, I ain't been listening to much, to be fair. I mean, I listened to a lot on Friday, as obviously New Music Friday and everything. I listened to the new Dutch of Valley mixtape, Dutch from the Fifth. I was listening to that because I was reviewing it for Trench. Really, really good. It's mainly drill, but it's sensitive thug drill. Like, there are a couple of tunes where he's singing an auto-tune, he's crooning about, a girlfriend that wasn't really a girlfriend, and all that stuff. So it's very balanced. It's very balanced. Like, you don't get that kind of vulnerability from duo artists. So, you know, very, very much welcome. So that was a good tape. Also listened to the new Novelist project, which is an instrumental EP. So big up Novelist. And this Busta album, but we'll get into that later.
That's what I was going to say. We'll get into it later.
We'll get into that later. Peter, what about you?
What have I been listening to? I've been listening to... There's a lead guitarist from Parliament Funkadelic called Eddie Hazel. I listened to his only solo album, which I thought was really good. I've also been listening to Bilal's second album, Love for Sale. Dope. What else? Emma V. I listened to Emma V's Honeymoon album, and then I checked out her project with Alchemist, which was also really dope. And yeah, a couple Lucy's here and there, like some Big L freestyles. But yeah, that's it really. I'm always all over the place, man. I listen to Lucy's here and there. One day I'm like, you know, into jazz, and the next day I might into like fucking some like Big L shit.
I feel like you're the only person in the world that would like look at Parliament Funkadelic and look at all of the members and think, let me listen to each and every one of their solo albums.
No, that's not.
There's like 35 members of Parliament Funkadelic.
See, I'm not letting you paint that narrative. That's not.
What do you mean?
That's not what happened. How I got into him was I was listening to Maggot Brain, the song by Funkadelic, and there was a guitar solo. It was just mad. So I was like, oh, let me see who's this like playing the guitar.
Oh, so you didn't know him already?
No, I didn't know him already. So I looked him up and I was like, oh shit, I like this guy. So I just Googled him. And then I just wanted to see if he'd released any solo albums. And I saw that he actually did. He died in 92, I think. Was it 92? Might be 92. So I thought, oh, let me check out this album. And I was like, yo, this is fire. So that's what happened.
For you. Still on you though. Mohammed, what about you?
I wish I could say I've been listening to as much as Peter, but let me not lie. Just been chilling, man. Listened to the new Talking the Gigs tape.
Oh yeah, I listened to that as well.
I've listened to it once. Sounds alright so far. Just need to give it another run through before I make an opinion on it. Haven't listened to Dutch of Ellie yet. Went through Busta's album, which we're going to get into a lot this week as well, just before the podcast started. And that's about it, really. I haven't been listening to music too much this week. I'll be honest with you, because of work and essentially I've been watching like No Word of a Life. You go to my TV right now, it's on CNN. I've been watching the presidential election all week.
Same.
Like ridiculous. Like I went bed 6 o'clock yesterday. I went bed 6 o'clock on Tuesday, 5 o'clock on Wednesday. I've really been keeping up. I love American politics.
The Gigs tape was just gigs being gigs, isn't it?
Yeah. I haven't. There's an artist I want to check out. And unfortunate. I never listened to King Von. So King Von's an artist recently that got shot in
rest
Chicago.
in peace, King Von.
Rest in peace. He was a massive
Was Chicago or Atlanta?
Was it Atlanta? Sorry,
Yeah.
Chicago, Atlanta. And then he got shot.
I think he's from Chicago, but killed. But
He got. But he's from Chicago originally, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So from Chicago, and I think he used to roll with Little Dirk and them man as well. And he got shot. But I've never listened to his music. And unfortunate when an incident like this brings an artist to light. But just the amount of people showing him love to, I want to give him at least that respect to listen to his music and see what he was about.
No, some of my boys were like saying, "Yo, P, like he's a really good."
I
storyteller.
heard as well. I've heard he's solid.
I heard he's a really good storyteller. Yeah. Check him out. But you know me, I'm always resistant. Do you know what I mean? So I haven't yet. But regardless, man, rest in peace, man. It's always sad and it's tiring. It's exhausting. Just hearing about young blacks just getting killed, man, from
Left,
gun
right,
violence
center,
is
man.
crazy, man. Do you know what I'm saying? He was only 26, and I saw the notification recently where he only just dropped an album. I think it's his first album. So I was just like, rah.
Yeah, I saw a tweet that said a lot of the younger generation of rap fans have had to deal with a lot of loss, and I couldn't agree more. Like Juice WRLD, Pop Smoke, King Von,
XXX,
FBG Duck, XXX, Tentacion. Rest in peace to King Von. Okay, lads, the moment is here. Let's get into the first topic, and it's gonna be our first review for a while, and we're gonna be reviewing the 10th studio album of the legendary, iconic Dungeon Dragon, Busta Rhymes. If I knew his government name, I'd give him his government name.
Dungeon Dragon.
He is the Dungeon Dragon.
What's wrong with you?
He's the Dungeon Dragon.
No one's ever introduced Busta Rhymes as the Dungeon Dragon.
But that's how much of a fan I am, innit?
Yeah, but can you start off this topic?
I did.
I did. You kick it off.
I did.
You're the opinion I've been waiting for to hear about this album.
Dungeon Dragon.
Oh, you want to hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You're the opinion I've been waiting to hear.
So obviously, yeah, Busta Rhymes dropped his 10th studio album. I think his first album in how many years? Maybe like 6-7 years.
It's been a while.
Extinction Level Event 2, which is the sequel to his 1998 album. 8 years. Thank you. Extinction Level Event 2, which is the sequel to his 1998 album, Extinction Level Event. And the first ELE was very, very apocalyptic. In the 90s, he was very much on that apocalyptic wave of every time he had an album, he'd be counting down the years to the year 2000.
There's only 5 years left.
There's only 5 years left. There's only 2 years left and all that stuff. And ELE2 essentially carries on that tradition from a thematic standpoint. It's got features from the likes of Kendrick Lamar, Mariah Carey, Q-Tip, Rakim, Rhapsody, Bill Biv DeVoe, Mr. Farrakhan,
ODB.
like, ODB, rest in peace as well, and just a whole bunch of different people. So it's very much an event. It's a very large album. It's got like 22, 23 tracks, 80 minutes. And yeah, man, it's here. Like, obviously, after much hype, Chris Rock is all over that as well, narrating, which we'll get into.
Face said it all.
And yeah, the moment has arrived. So you want me to kick this off?
Yeah, you got to kick it off.
You're the
All
Busta
right.
fan.
Busta's your guy.
You're the
All
Busta
right, so-
fan. If there's someone that's a Busta fan of us three, it's you.
Bus was my guy. He's in my top 10 easily. I think I owe a lot of my early experiences of just like listening to rap or like watching rap videos to Busta Rhymes. To give me some more video, especially. So, and in anticipation of listening to ELE2, I listened to ELE again, just to see if there was any real continuation other than the thematics. There wasn't really, but that's fine. As a standalone album, ELE2. After the first listen, because I'll give you my opinion for the first listen and the second listen. After my first
Why are you
listen,
shuffling?
I'm not shuffling. I'm not shuffling at all.
He's shuffling.
Why are you shuffling?
Yo, you
for,
shuffling right now, brother man.
Brother man.
You're looking shaky in these streets. What you say? Your man slipping. He's falling. He can't get up. Oh.
He's definitely slipping. And
He's slipping.
falling.
He's falling.
Can't
Busta
get
Rhymes
up.
got a heavy neck, so he can't even get himself up, fam.
He's got no neck, cuz.
Yo, Busta's got the most awkward body, you know. That body built like a fist.
The Dungeon Dragon.
I shout out to Busta, fam. I
Real,
swear
man.
to
Legend,
God,
man,
fam.
for real.
Legend, man.
Let's let Yemi get into his bag.
Yeah,
man.
God, fam.
So on first listen, yeah,
That guy built like a Hot Wheels, fam.
he has got a tonk neck, to be fair.
But yeah, go on, bro.
Yeah, on first listen, I was like, this is okay. I was already just kind of frustrated by the challenge of having to listen to 22 different tracks from Busta Rhymes, 80 minutes. Like, you guys know I like short albums. But listening through to it, I realized that there are quite a few good songs on there. There are some truly awful ones. But there are a lot of good songs on there that I guess he felt he couldn't take out. But a lot of them just didn't. As standalone songs, they're cool, but they didn't really add much to the narrative of the album. So that's why I'm kind of in a weird place with it. So that was the first listen. On second listen, I was more and more impressed. Like, I was diving into the messages a little bit more. You know, each of the guests, like Bus's performance, like Bus sounds very much refreshed. He very much sounds like the old Bus in a lot of ways. So overall, I can say like I liked the project, but there is a lot of fat that needs to be trimmed from it. Like, if I look at the flipping track list, yeah, it's just a lot, man. There's a lot going on. Like, Chris Rock for first, like that's my favorite comedian of all time. But I don't need you in this, if I'm honest. Like, it's just, you're doing too much.
I was feeling the exact same way, man.
You're doing too much.
After a while, I got enough. is
Yeah,
enough,
I was just like, I don't
Yeah,
need Chris
man.
Rock all over this, man. I don't need him like narrating the album.
Like, it's cool. It's cool to have Chris Rock narrating your album, innit? But keep it minimal.
I don't know how I feel about comedians narrating albums because Game's album Jesus Piece, he had Kevin Hart,
Yeah,
all over that, and I did not enjoy that, man. And I don't know when it became a thing.
Comedians are just a bit corny on rap albums.
Rick Ross
aren't
had Chris Rock on one.
I didn't like it.
Yeah, what's it? Mastermind, I think.
Yeah, and I was thinking about it, like all the stuff that he was saying about Busta on this album, and all the stuff that he was saying about Ross on that album. It's like, which one do you believe?
He's a liar.
they? None of them.
Do you know what I'm
None of
saying?
them. None of them.
Because everything he was saying on this is like, you know, Busta's the guy, no one's fucking with Busta. He said the same about Ross. It's like, which one do you believe, bro?
I mean, you can believe in both.
Nah.
No?
No.
Was he saying Ross is the greatest?
No, he didn't say that, he didn't say
Not in those exact words, but it was if he was saying it about you, you'd feel gassed that, yeah, I'm the guy.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. It just kind of made me feel like,
Yeah,
I don't
I
really
hear that.
believe it.
I mean, especially on the first, like the ELE2 intro, like 7 minutes and 12 seconds, yeah?
I love that though.
I love that intro, bro.
Rakim sounded
I don't know
nice,
if I love,
man.
Rakim sounded nice, but I think you could have cut it down by at least a couple minutes because, again, Chris Rock was doing too much. And towards the end, like Bus was talking, like it was making sense and everything, but bruv,
Do you know what
Get
part
on
of that
with
song I would have got rid of? You know the creepy voice at the beginning.
there's that as
I
well.
would have got rid of that and just let them start rhyming, and then go into the beat transition of "The World Is Yours" and then Rakim spitting. I would just let that happen rather than having a bit at the beginning because it was overly long for no reason.
I guess it was there to set the scene,
Yeah.
but why use that and then use Chris Rock?
Yeah,
Like,
that really makes
pick
sense.
one or the other.
Yeah.
Like, I would have had one or the other. To be honest, I would have had the intro before I would have had Chris Rock. But it is what it is. But you know, overall as a song, good start. And generally, like the production in here was dope. You know, Czar with MOP, that's probably my favorite tune. Yeah, man. Mainly for the production. Love the production. What other songs did I like? Don't Go with Q-Tip, Master Fard Muhammad with Rick Ross. Even the one with Farrakhan I liked as well.
Farrakhan's been in a few albums this year, boy.
Yeah,
For sure.
Farrakhan's
He's got a feature list longer than most people. Best I Can with Rhapsody, Look Over Your Shoulder with Kendrick Lamar, and it finished strongly as well. Like I really liked all of the songs after Look Over Your Shoulder as well. That's the shit I did not enjoy.
Where I belong.
The tune with Vibes Cartel, that doesn't need to be anywhere near a Busta album, let alone a fucking Spliff Star album.
Spliff Star.
Fucking The Don and the Boss, that's what it's called. Where I Belong featuring Mariah Carey, that's just a rebore. I'll give it to you.
Yeah.
That's
which I
literally what it is.
don't rate because come on, man, you've got Mariah here. You can do better than
I was
this.
telling you, man, earlier, Mariah fooled us because at the end of the tune with Rhapsody, you know, they started doing the monologue, innit? And when Mariah's voice came in, I was like, all right, cool, she's sounding very attractive right now. We're about to get some fire. The fire didn't come though.
And then
Shit
you
was
heard
not
it,
fire.
what was it?
There was no fire.
There was no fire.
Ah,
Bro, there wasn't even an ember. It was
Word.
mad. It was flipping crazy. It was just
we
dead,
got
bro.
Bulbasaur, man.
Charmander.
One of the two.
It was Charmander.
That's cardinal sin.
But that's a cardinal sin.
That's cardinal sin for sure. But generally, like, it was good, man. I feel like with Bus, yeah, he's got such a massive like network of like friends that he feels the need to utilize them on albums every time. Sometimes less is more, man.
He overdone
Like
it this
even though I appreciate the songs, like you didn't need to put them all on one album. Less is definitely more. I feel like I would have loved more of Bus just on his own, like talking about where he is in his life. Because I feel like a lot of the time he was just rapping just to rap. He wasn't really saying much. So, you know, as much as I enjoy that, I know you can take that out of isolation and that you can enjoy it. Like, it just doesn't really fill me with much, like, right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm not necessarily saying I need something of substance, but when you give me something as long as ELE2, like, I need a little bit more than you just rapping, and then you having your friends. Like, even though for the most part they were great. And also, I wanted to talk about the Bell Biv DeVoe song as well, because I thought that was all over the flipping place.
I like it,
Like,
man. I'm sorry.
The Poison song, well, it wasn't even a sample. Like, he basically rapped over Poison, and he took the drum sequences and added the drum sequences every 5 seconds. It was flipping crazy. It was a mess, bro.
Yeah,
I didn't know whether to bop my head or fucking smash a car open. Like, I don't know.
The first time I heard it, I didn't like it. Second and third time, which is a bit like the album. The first time I heard the album, I wasn't sure how I felt about it. The second and third time I listened to that song, I don't know what it was. It was just, I didn't mind it as much. The Mariah Carey song is hell. Like, throw that in the bin. That is absolutely garbage. The Vibe Cartel song, I'll stick that in jail, fam. That's trash as well. Like, when he missed on this song, this album, he really missed. Do you get what I mean? There was no in-betweens with this album. It was either really good or really poor. I don't think there was any songs off the top of my head that I don't feel a certain way about. See, if I like it, I think it's dead.
And there's a tendency for Busta to just like tap into every part of his character. So there's songs like, I think it's Strap Yourself Down, where he's just shouting, and then obviously the Vibes Cartel song where he's doing up Caribbean, and he's doing up sexy, trying to do sexy with Mariah
I
Carey.
think that's the gift and the curse of being versatile. I think when you are as versatile as someone like Busta Rhymes, you can kind of fall into that hole of trying to tap into every part of your talent when you don't necessarily need to. Do you know what I'm saying?
Do you think it's because the weight he gave us, he thought he has to? Because it's been 8 years. Do you think the mindset he went in was, let me remind these people how good I am? Well, and therefore he played it was a disadvantage. You get what I'm saying?
I don't even necessarily think it was that.
He's been versatile his whole career.
No, I agreed. I'm just saying, do you think it's the 8 year gap that he thought, let me show how versatile I am? Let me remind people.
Probably.
Like, this generation might not know how good I am, so let me just show these guys I can rap on every type.
I'm pretty sure
But
he
this
said.
isn't the but this isn't the first time that Busta's tried to touch every part of his talent. So it's not really much of a surprise. I feel like he did this on Extinction Level Part 1.
Yeah.
He did.
It was a very long album as well.
Yeah.
But I feel like he did it way better than he did it on this one though.
And the time back then, I mean, everyone was dropping long albums. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he alluded to wanting to be as versatile as possible on his Drink Champs interview. I think he more or less said that he wanted to show everyone just.
That's what I'm saying. So
how
it was a
versatile
case where he
was.
wanted to show people.
Yeah, for sure. But again, as Peter said, it's the gift and the curse, because it's like sometimes less is more. You don't always have to show how versatile you are, especially as we know you're versatile. Every album that you've dropped since you come out, you've shown your versatility. I think now, not necessarily like trying to flex. It was just a thing of like, you've probably overdone it a little bit.
Yeah, he could have chosen, if he cut this album down to 12 songs, and he chose 12 of the best songs, top 30, we'll be having a completely different conversation. Completely different conversation.
We might be saying we might be saying close to album of the year.
Yeah,
It'd be in the conversation.
it'll be in a conversation. If he just cut down the 22 to 13, then it becomes a conversation of, oh, like, yo, how good is it? Because if you take 13, if you keep the Rhapsody song, the Kendrick song, whichever one else as well, the conversation completely changes.
I was saying that I would take off half of the songs on there, and actually made a list of the 11 that I'd keep.
You'll take, which 11 would you do?
I'd keep the intro.
Yep.
I'd keep The Purge, Strap Yourself. I'd keep the Bell Biv DeVoe tune though.
Okay.
I'm with you on that.
I would keep the song with Farrakhan, the song with ODB, the song with Q-Tip, True Indeed, which was produced by Primo, the tune with Rick Ross I would have kept, the tune with Rhapsody, and the tune with Kendrick. And I think with those 11 songs,
MLP.
I'm okay with it not being on there.
Okay.
But with those, I believe with those 11 that I've chosen, that's a solid album.
Yeah, for sure.
And even if it wasn't necessarily those 11 that anybody else wanted to choose, the point I'm trying to make is you can take at least 12, 13 songs off that album and make a really good album.
My thing is though, and this is why I'm conflicted, like the songs that you've apart from a couple, the songs that you've taken out aren't bad songs necessarily.
No, that's it. They're not bad.
Yeah. But it's a thing where it's like, if you had cut it down, then we'd be
It's the conversation that
we'd be
takes
having a
place.
different conversation about it. But it's still an enjoyable album in a way. So I don't want to be too harsh, but at the same time, you have given us a slog, and it was a slog to get through, to be honest, because Busta's more or less talking about the same shit throughout, and yeah, after a while, I just get stale.
I think I was similar to Mo, where when I first listened to it, I didn't like it. And then I was talking to my boy Freddie, big up Freddie, and he was like, oh, bro, you got to listen again, trust me, man, you'll like it. So I left it a few days, and I came back to it this morning, and I was like, no, I like this album. So the more I listened to it, the more I liked it. And it's funny because the songs that I didn't like initially, I was like, oh, this is all right, man. Do you know what I mean? Like Busta's timeless for me, man. I don't think he'll ever be whack. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like whether you love this album or not, I think the skill that he's kind of demonstrated on this album is it's just a further like emphasis of like the older statesman in rap, just like holding it down. Do you know what I'm saying? Because he's been in the game for like 20, 30 years. Do you know what I mean? And like, it seems as though people of that generation are still sounding very crisp, as opposed to like the older guys. And I disrespect to any of them, man, but they don't sound like that next generation do now. You know what I'm saying? So it was nice to hear him because like I thought his flow is still very precise, and I still enjoy it. I like calm Busta. I don't like hype Busta though. You know what I mean? When he's calm, like how he was flowing and rapping on Master Fard Muhammad, that's the type of Busta Rhymes I like, where I can hear every word. You know what I'm saying? I can hear what he's trying to do with his lyricism. Do you know what I mean? But I enjoyed this album, man. It wasn't a bad album at all. I think the whole apocalyptic theme was a bit dry for me, just because it's something that we've kind of heard about for so long. Do you know what I mean? So I didn't necessarily need that on this album, and he had quite a few attempts at trying to do that. I just didn't really need it.
You think it's corny?
No, not corny, because it's supposed to be a part 2 of the first one. I get what he was trying to do, but I was okay with not having that being a running theme on the album. Do you know what I mean? But overall, man, I thought it was a good album, man.
I hear that. Yeah, I mean, he's definitely an older statesman who has shown with this album that, you know, he's still very much, maybe not necessarily at the top of his game, but close enough to it. And he's brought the best out of like people like Rakim as well, and Kendrick, and you know, all those types of people as well. So he commands so much respect. So, you know, he will never be back.
It's solid.
Hopefully.
I've never been a great Busta fan. I've never been a major Busta fan. I don't know why it is. I've just never been a heavy Busta fan. So I think
That's because all you listen to is street shit.
that's not true. Like, let's not even
What's
put
his
that
name?
in
Some
there.
street tunes, though.
Yeah, let's
Yeah,
not
but-
act like all I listen to is
But
gangbangers,
but
fam.
he's not like.
No, we're not
street
gonna
is he?
we're not gonna act like all I listen to is
Busta's a
gangbangers,
goon,
fam.
bruv.
Like
Yeah, but does he rap about that to the same volume?
no, but look at my bruv. Let's not act like all I listen to is man shoot man left, right, and center. Let's not do
I mean,
I mean,
that. No, let's not do that. Def is in my top 5. Rich is my number 1 in my UK. Them I don't talk street shit.
I was talking mainly American, but I thought
you don't think Wretch talks street shit?
He's not. I wouldn't say he's a street.
Now, maybe not.
Even back then, I wouldn't say he's a street in the ghetto street. But I wouldn't say he was. When I look at Rich, I wouldn't say he's a street rapper.
Bro,
I wouldn't look at Rich and gets in the same place.
Don't be fooled by the slick talk.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. But anyway,
Rich talks grease.
He would. But I'm just saying. I don't. Anyway, my point is, let's not put me in a bubble like that. I just never used to listen to Busta as much as Yemi. So, as a
I mean,
now-
Yemi's like probably like the only person in
That listens
South
to
London
Busta,
that
yeah,
can
is.
that can name all flipping members of leaders of the new school. So of course he's
Yeah, but I've got a question for you.
Do you know
Then.
what I mean?
Where would you rank this? It might
Busta
be a bit
Rhymes,
too early.
Dinko D,
See what I
Charlie
mean?
Brown, and Cut Monitor
No
Milo.
one in South London's
No one in
ever
South
said
London's ever
Dinko
done
D's name, bro.
No one in South London has ever known like that. I've got a question for you.
But I'm me.
Yeah, I've got a question for you then.
I like that.
Yeah, I've got a question for you. I don't know how many times you've listened to it. Where would you rank this in terms of your favorite Busta albums? Or is it too soon?
Too soon.
Alright, cool.
I mean, it's probably not reaching because his first album's my favorite, and then I'd probably say his second album, and then I'd probably say Anarchy. But then probably like top. He's at 10. Top 6, top 7,
And where would you place Busta in your favorite rappers of all time?
top 10 for sure.
Cool.
But as you were saying,
Yeah, I was never a massive Busta fan, so taking in this album, I've listened to Busta before, I've listened to these albums before, but I don't know if it was me having a new set of ears listening to Busta on this album. Do you get what I mean? Because I'm doing it for because I'm doing it for the podcast. Whatever preconceived notion I've had of Busta, I have to let it go.
Yeah.
And just listen to it freely. So taking it in, I've never denied Busta's a great rapper. No one that's never been in question. But it just felt nice hearing Busta again
Yeah.
after so long. Like it generally felt like, even if I'm not a massive fan of his, you can't go 8 years without listening to Busta. Do you get what I mean? Even though he's had a couple features here and there, it just felt nice hearing his voice again and him rapping again. So I wasn't mad at the album. After the first time I heard it, I wasn't great. Second, third, fourth time listening to it on a journey here, there's more good songs than bad songs. And essentially that's what you want in the album. You never want the bad songs to outweigh the dope tracks. Do you know what I mean? That's when it becomes a problem. Is there a couple of songs that you could have left out? Yeah, but overall with the project, I'm not mad at it at all. It was just great to hear his voice, great to hear him rapping. He kept up with people as well. It's not like people left him behind. It's not like Anderson .Paak washed him. It's not like Kendrick washed him.
I didn't like that song though.
No, I'm just saying
I
in
didn't
general
really like
though.
it much either.
I'm just saying these guys didn't. It's not like they came here and just left him when
Kendrick's
he came
verse
to
was disrespectful. Kendrick's verse was
Kendrick was
absolutely
He very much left
disrespectful.
off.
Kendrick
That's his
was
first
very-
verse of this year, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely disrespectful.
I told you we need an album from Kendrick, but that's neither here nor there. I miss Kendrick.
Yeah, he
I
he
miss
was. I don't even like. I was on my way here and I was thinking, what word can I use that would give that verse justice? And I couldn't even find one. But
Astronomical?
he was just. He was just disrespectful.
What was he more disrespectful on? This one or Mona Lisa with Lil Wayne?
I don't think I've heard the Mona
Probably
Lisa
this one.
tune.
Mona Lisa one was at. He
Was that
made
this year as well?
Bro, when did Carter 5 come out?
last year.
Last year. He made Lil Wayne look like a JV player,
What's JV?
like junior varsity.
Oh, okay.
Wallahi, bro. He made him look like he was in.
Tell me, say that in football terms. Innit?
He made him look like he was in Division 4.
That's
Or
disrespectful.
League 2.
Bro, worse than that.
Torquay
He was
United
dagging him in Redbridge
conference.
Conference, Exeter.
All right.
I promise you, like, look, when Kendrick gets on your song, it could get a bit wild. But my point is, I don't think Busta was left on songs. I don't think people embarrassed him.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? I feel like he kept up with everyone. He outbarred some man. So yeah, man. Overall, I liked it. So I'm not mad at it at all.
You'd be hard pressed to find a tune where Busta's feature was someone where he gets like
Left.
Yeah, 100%.
Money
100%. 100%. So overall, I liked it. I just don't like when me personally. I hate when Busta starts rapping fast. Sometimes I just be like,
Didn't he rap fast in the Mariah song?
Bro,
Yeah, I
I
think
didn't.
he
I won't
did.
lie to you. I did not get to the end of that song.
Feel you.
I think it was the Mariah song he started. There's a few songs I think we rapped ridiculously quick. unlike how he does "Look at Me Now" type shit. And sometimes when he does that, I'm a bit like,
He's not really saying much.
yeah, I'm like, yo, you don't really need to be like, leave that to Twister.
Who actually says stuff.
Yeah, so, but other than that, that's just
But
my
to be
little
fair to
critique.
Busta, he's always been doing
You know, he has, and I'm not gonna. I just don't. I'm not a fan of it when he starts rapping 100 miles per hour. I'm just not a massive. I hate that style.
Busta's flow though, man. Like, I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like I don't hear it enough when we're talking about the best flows in rap. Like it's just such precision, man. Like there was a tune on there where it kind of felt like it was his attempt at like a more contemporary type of beat or tune. It sounded a bit trappy, and he's the way he was in the pocket. Yeah, it was nice, and that's not even my type of song. But I was like, yeah, man, like I'm loving what he's doing with this. You know what I mean? So his flow's always just amazing to me, man. He just never sounds whack.
Do you think it's because he does a lot? He has a lot of flows. So
He's a flow master for sure.
So because he's got so many people, never.
yeah,
He's a flow
Because you
master.
can't pinpoint him to one.
yeah. People might not necessarily think he's the master of one, but he's also great at a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's ridiculously amazing.
yeah.
Even still now.
His talent is stupid.
The
Even
song with
8 years later.
Master Fard Muhammad, man, I really liked that, man.
I thought you would.
Yeah,
That's my favorite song on the album.
Yeah, I
Oh,
really
I
After the
thought,
Kendrick one.
yeah, I thought
After
so.
the Kendrick one.
Yeah.
That's my favorite song.
yeah, man.
Really, the
It
one
just-
with the one with Rick Ross. Yeah, sure.
It just sounded so like regal. It sounded like black excellence, man.
Really?
That's exactly what it
What
sounded
did it sound like, Peter?
Black excellence.
You're damn right.
You know what I'm saying? I just liked it. I really enjoyed it, man. And they both got their shit off as well.
Yo, Rick Ross is I don't want to argue Rick Ross.
He was floating.
That's what I'm saying. I'm gonna stop arguing Rick Ross with people. And for those that don't know, Master Fard is the person that found the Nation of Islam. The quick history lesson there.
Thank you. I didn't know.
Yeah.
He was the creator of Nation of Islam. That's my favorite song on the album. I'm sorry, man.
Not
That, the Kendrick song. I like the Poison song.
I think my favorite song is the Rhapsody one. Ninth produced it. He brought that soul.
even, yeah, that's not a shock either.
Do you know what I'm
Yeah, that's
saying?
not
And
shit.
I just liked him, and I like what they were talking about as well. Because I don't think I've heard that perspective before, where you're rapping from the viewpoint of having issues with the mother of your child, and I guess venting on how difficult she's been, and that was quite interesting to hear.
That was very
Obviously, we've
refreshing.
heard rappers, kind of talk bad about the mother of their children, but it sounded like a real story in this one, and it sounded good. And then Rhapsody played her part as rapping from the perspective of knowing that you've been that difficult co-parenter, and I guess like apologizing for it in a sense, and it sounded good.
So is that the one you're going with for your favorite
That's
song?
that might be my favorite tune on there.
You know what I mean?
Either that one or the Q-Tip one.
You know what I mean?
True Indeed was mad too. That's the one that Primo produced.
Yeah.
That was mad.
That was good too. I mean, there are a lot of good ones. I think for me, the one that I always go back to is Czar. Just because of the beat. The beat's fire.
You seen the video?
Oh, there's a video to it.
Yeah.
But I love the Rhapsody one. I love the Kendrick one. The Primo one. There's a lot of bangers on there, man. For sure.
I think it's too many features. How do you guys feel about albums?
I was thinking about that too, but I feel like
Depends on the length. Because it's 23 tracks.
Yeah.
It probably isn't that many.
But how do you feel about
How many are there?
too many features.
How do you like, for example, you remember Game Jesus Piece?
Yeah.
Game Jesus Piece had
That was a lot.
he had a feature on every single song,
I was okay with that, and I'm okay with it
as long as it sounds nice.
depending on who the artist is and where they are in their career. With someone like a Busta Rhymes, he's given us God knows how many albums where he hasn't had better features. Do you get what I'm saying? So because of that, the as you go on in your career, the latter albums, I'm okay with you experimenting and just wanting to collab with everyone. Because he's shown that
Because
he
he's
can,
done enough for the game.
Yeah, he can carry albums by himself. So if he's hearing a tune and like he's feeling like, you know what, this person will add that, and I'm gonna bring him in, cool. And if it happens to be on like 10 out of the 20 songs, I'm okay with
But
it.
how do you feel like a Jesus Piece when it was? I know we're talking about Busta, but just like
I'm okay with that too
because
because
I was like 13 out of 14 songs had that feature.
I'm okay because again, Game has showed that he can carry his own.
Okay, cool.
It also depends on how many people are featured on one song. I feel like with Game, there was like 1 to 2 people, more on the 2 side, most songs.
He had Bear Man on Bear Man.
Whereas with Busta, he's got 16 features on 22 tracks, and the most amount of features he's got on one song is the intro. If we're gonna count Chris
is
Rock.
that the most? Take Chris Rock out of it.
Alright, then Rakim and Pete Rock. Was Pete Rock even rapping on this?
No,
Huh.
I don't know why
No.
they put him down.
Then Rakim then. That's one.
What song does he? Which
In
one has the most features on a song? Does he have any with 2 off the top of my head? I can't remember.
No.
See, that's fine.
None.
I can live with that. Whereas the Game had Celebration with 4 man.
Yeah.
He had Jesus Piece with Common and someone else, and then he had all that lady with Big Sean.
And it wasn't
Tiger.
as long. It wasn't as long either. So
Yeah.
it felt like there was just loads of them. if I just look through the track list again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,
He has 14 tracks.
10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15,
Oh,
16,
it's just busters.
17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Game had 23 features
On a 14 track.
on a third. Well, if you count, okay, fine. If you even count the deluxe, 25 features on 14 tracks. Game does too much.
Well, you had 23.
Game does too much. Game does too much.
But I think you said it perfectly. If someone is at a point in their career where you've given us enough material that I can go back to and listen to by yourself, I'm not mad at what you do now.
Yeah.
If Jay-Z comes with a feature-heavy album, bro, you've done more than enough for me.
You might even like it. You might find it
Yeah.
refreshing. I don't know.
Yeah. But it's weird. If it's my favorite rapper, I'd rather hear with them. I would have loved, even though Busta's not one of my favorites, I would have loved to have hear more Busta, just Busta songs. But I'm also not mad at what he done because I could go back and listen to his albums, like you said. So I guess it's a tricky one, but I like this album, man. For it is, I liked it. I'm not mad at this album at all. Even though it's 22 songs, I'm not mad at it. You haven't given us an album in 8 years. Do what you want.
Has this affected your view of Busta in any way, positive or negative?
I've never shut on him. I've always said Busta's a legend. Busta's one of the GOATs. He's always been on that level to me. He's always been God level. So I'm not gonna. There's nothing for me to take off from him, and there's nothing for me to add to it. His legacy's already cemented in my mind. Do you get what I mean?
So he can continue dropping albums until he's 90. and he'll
If he
still be
wants, I think we need to get out of a place where just because if someone's a legend already and they've given us over 20 years of artistry, let them do what they want at that point, man. Let that person have fun with it. Whether they drop something bad or something good, they've given me enough. Why would I knock from their pedestal? Do you get what I mean?
How much is enough though?
Oh, if Busta come out with 3 whack albums in a row, then we're gonna have a conversation.
No, are we?
But that's what I'm saying. But at the same time, is that fair? Why?
Bro, Prince dropped like 25 albums. Like a good, I'm gonna be careful.
Be careful.
A good like 6 or 7 of those albums aren't great, but that does nothing.
But are they
for
whack
who.
though? No, but are they whack? Hear the word I used. Whack is a different.
There's a few that I'm very content with never listening to again.
How many? All 6?
Probably about 5. There's probably about 5 albums that I personally won't listen to.
Yeah, but 5 out of 25 is a dumb ratio.
Yeah, but like
That's a
imagine,
great
but,
ratio.
and I'm not even the biggest Prince. There's way more.
That's
like,
a great ratio though.
There's way more like expert Prince fans, but like for those that really grew up on him, if he dropped those 6 or 7 whack albums back to back to back to back, do you think they'd be saying, "Yo, we got to have a conversation about Prince," or will they just hold him to that high esteem of the time in which he?
They would
was
definitely hold. They would definitely hold him to that esteem.
Exactly. So we can do the same with our rap artists.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. But
Do
I
you
think
know what I
rap's different. I think rap's different. If a rapper comes out with,
Rapper's definitely different.
if Jay-Z gives us 4, what's the album Lost Ones was on? My mind's gone blank.
Kingdom Come.
Yeah, if he gives us 4 Kingdom Comes in a row,
Why not?
Jay-Z's not coming off the.
So wait,
Jay-Z's going to be the GOAT.
So
But
wait,
like, what the
hang
fuck
on.
you playing?
So
now?
let's just say every album from Kingdom Come onwards is like Kingdom Come.
Bro, we're definitely talking like Wild One.
No, we're not.
I don't think we are.
Are you man are bugging?
I don't know if we
Jay-Z
are, bro.
if Kendrick gives us 4 Kingdom Comes right now,
Listen, I'm not the biggest Jay-Z fan.
No.
But I will even say we're probably not going to look
if
at
Kendrick comes out with 4 Kingdom Comes right now,
I will trash
you're telling me that
I will trash him, but as far as where I rank him, I don't think it's gonna change.
no, he's ranking. Where's Kendrick now for you?
He's probably top 10.
Okay, he gives us 4 Kingdom Comes. He's still top 10.
Yeah.
If his
Bro,
next
do you know how
4
difficult
albums of Kingdom Comes, he's still in my top 5.
Bro, do you know how
He's in my top 10.
Do you know
He's
how-
in my
do you know how
he's in my top
difficult-
10. I'm not saying he'll come. I don't mean to cut you off though. I'm not saying he'll come off your top 10. I'm just saying the conversation around the rapper becomes different.
I don't know if it does.
There's not-
Bro, do you know like how difficult it is to drop 4 amazing albums?
I don't even need them to
In
be
a
amazing.
row.
I don't even want them to be amazing. You can give me all right. If you drop 4 whack albums in a row, like really bad,
Yeah.
that's difference to dropping a Born Sinner. Born Sinner was all right. If you give me 4 whack albums, bro, 4 trash.
But you're not getting what I'm saying to you. I just asked you, do you know how difficult it is to drop 3 to 4 amazing albums in a row?
Oh, I get what you're saying. Your talent's
like
beyond measure. Yeah,
Come
yeah,
on,
yeah.
man.
Not many can do it.
if you give me 3 or 4 amazing albums in a row and then you give me 3 or 4 mid to bad albums in a row. The conversation, I don't think changes.
We could probably count on one hand the amount of solo artists that have been able to do that. Kendrick, Kanye, who else would you say?
That's giving us more great albums than bad albums.
Outkast.
I said solo.
Oh, solo.
What?
4 back-to-back great albums. Solo artists.
But that's where he stops.
Nobody.
That's where he stops.
That's it.
I agree with you
It's
guys.
hard.
In a row.
No.
Yeah,
no, I'm
it's
not.
hard.
He won't come off
Kendrick
my top.
and Kanye.
They won't. I'm not saying Kendrick will come out my top 10. Kendrick won't come out my top 10. I'm just saying the nature of the conversation, the wider audience will change. I think that's
Probably. I think
that's a fact.
I mean, the commentary will probably like take a dip.
Yeah, that's what I'm
I
saying.
think for that, it might take just like one good to great album afterwards.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm not saying he's done forever.
So, but what I mean is like, it's the vanity of it. The vanity of it would probably mean that people will comment on it. But if he goes back to dropping great albums again, no one remembers.
100%.
No one cares.
That's why I said like with Busta, even if this album was bad, Busta's done enough for his pedestal, for him never to come off his pedestal. Like, he's a legend forever. I'm just glad that he came out after 8 years of an album I personally like. I'm not mad at it at all.
I feel that. So our final words are, it was a good album.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. Big up Busta.
It gave me what I needed.
All right, let's move on to the next topic. So, in 2020, I feel like because there's such a wide variety of artists in the hip hop game these days, it's very hard for artists coming through to be in any way original. And what I mean by that is standing out from the pack as far as like the type of music you make, the type of production, the way you rap, the people you roll with, and stuff like that. I feel like, rap has been going on for about 45 years, maybe even more. And a part of me maybe not me, but a part of me sometimes thinks, have we seen every kind of like style or every kind of rapper that there is to see in the game? So I guess I just wanted to open it up to you guys as well. Like, in 2020, do we feel like, or is originality in hip hop difficult to achieve? Have we seen every type of style there is to see? And the reason why, one of the main reasons why I mentioned this is because I remember, was it last year, earlier this year, there was this hoopla, especially on social media, about this rapper called HD, who not only is the spitting image of Jay-Z, but he also raps and sounds a lot like Jay-Z, especially early Jay-Z. And that kind of follows the similar trajectory as people saying that Bronson sounded like Ghostface, your old Drew sounded like Nas and stuff. So with that context, guys, do we think that in 2020 originality in hip hop is difficult to achieve?
There's nothing.
It's a difficult one.
I'm gonna say that there's nothing new under the sun. It's never what you do, it's how it's done.
All right, let's move on to the next topic then.
Yo, fam.
Big up Nasir.
Pete feels like the man after he
No,
dropped
that was great.
boy.
That was great.
That was 10 out of 10.
Thank you, sir. It's a tough one, man. As far as like, if we've seen every style that there is to see, that's impossible to say, man, because there's numerous artists that came out of nowhere and came with a style that we hadn't seen before. We didn't know that style was to come or could come because we had never seen it before. So it's a bit difficult to measure that. I think with the current landscape of where rap is at the moment, it does feel like, in the mainstream anyway, everyone sounds the same. So with that, it does feel like at the moment there is a lack of originality, but I don't want to say that without giving credit to what they're doing as well, because making like accessible music isn't easy. Quality accessible music, like a Young Thug, for example. That's not easy to do, man. Regardless of what my personal taste is, like, you can still tip your hat off to that shit. But I don't know, man. It's difficult to measure. Like, how do you, man, feel about the landscape at the moment and the quality of it?
I feel like when it comes to mainstream, there's very much a method to the madness, because there's a style that is profitable, and as you say, it's difficult to maintain it and stuff. But there's very much a style that people use that will set them up really well, like financially. So especially if they make trap songs and like kind of just more mainstream poppy sounding songs. That's no mean feat, and shout out to everybody who can do that successfully. I feel like you're bound to find a lot more originality in the underground because they're just expressing their truest musical selves, and they're doing it unadulterated, unapologetic as well. So you're bound to find a lot more variety in that respect. Generally, the landscape now, I think there's a nice balance, man. I think, for as much, mainstream music that we're fed on a regular, right? All it takes is a couple clicks on the internet to find your new favorite underground rapper, and then to find, a community underground or whatever that caters to what you're looking for. So generally, I'm quite happy with it. Like, there's always been this debate as well about, the landscape as well. But again, like, if you're really a hip hop fan, then you will find what you like. Like, there's something out there for everybody. As far as if originality is difficult to achieve, it very much depends on what lens you're looking at. If you're looking at it from a mainstream perspective, then maybe, because as we've established, like, some of them sound the same. But if we're looking further down, then nah, because people always find new ways to make shit interesting. Yeah, man, it's very much, it is a difficult one, but I also feel like if you look hard enough, you'll find it.
It's a tricky one, man. I definitely think there is new sounds to be found, just because I don't think you can ever complete hip hop. I don't think we're ever
constantly evolving.
Yeah, I don't think we're ever going to be in a stage where it completes itself and that's it. Everyone's gonna we've clocked the sequence. That's never going to be the case. I just think mainstream's always been the same-ish. That's never going to change. Mainstream's always kind of had one sound or two sounds, whether it's the Nellies, the Ja Rules, it's always been the Drakes, it's always been similar. And now the Roddy Richards, whoever. I just think underground's where you're always going to find whatever's different. Do you know what I mean? But my personal opinion, do I think it's always going to evolve? Yes. If I take it left and just use this as an example for 2 seconds, just me taking it left. Say battle rap, for example. Battle rap had an issue where everyone was sounding the same for a little while. Past URL, I'm not talking about Smack Day, DVD, I'm talking about URL, whether it's the Sue Surf era. People that came after him all sounded the same. So the Mr. Wavies and stuff. It's only now you're starting to see people taking among themselves and having originality. Like, say, New Jersey Twerk. He sounds completely different to everyone. But there was a little while where everyone sounded the same.
Everyone sounded like him.
Everyone sounded like New Jersey Twerk. Yeah. So what happened was, everyone sounded like, in my opinion, everyone that came after Sue Surf sounded like Sue Surf. So Mr. Wavies, everyone like that kind of sounded like Surf. Then everyone sounded like Twerk. And then it's only now you've got the B-Dots of the worlds, the Mr. Sings of the worlds. They all, there's an era of difference now. Do you know what I mean?
But even with that, even with the Sue Surf example, you could say they all sound like
Murder Mook. Yeah,
I agree with you. Surf, man, Damien's doing his face up.
Yeah.
But like, Surf is like one of Mook's like understudies, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? So because of the style that Mook came into battle rap with, a lot of, even though the style has evolved, you can still say that it came from that. And while you were talking, I was even thinking about the word original and how we look at it. And damn, my fucking point's gone now. I had a great point when Mo was talking. Keep going, it will come back.
I was going to say, like, I remember listening to...
Yes. So yeah. So, like, really, if you deep it, nothing is original, man. Like, you can remix it, but that doesn't necessarily make it original. And if you take, like, you can take artists in different genres, like, even, like, the Beatles and Rolling Stones and that, like, they all had similar aesthetics and a similar sound, but it was just a remixed version of what the other band was doing, really and truly. You can get into the intricacies of like lyricism and musicianship and that, but the point I'm trying to make is that it wasn't original to the core of the word.
It goes back to the idea of no idea is original, right?
Yeah.
So if I am like a rapper and I am maybe like an updated version, or maybe I just tap into an asset of another rapper that and just zone in on it. It might not necessarily be original by the very letter of the word, but it's a sound or like a style that not many people have seen before, in a sense. Like, your point kind of goes into what I was going to say. Like, I was listening to this interview with Chuck D time ago, and he basically broke down hip hop to revolutionary artists and evolutionary artists. There's only a few revolutionary artists, the rest are evolutionary. I feel like we're still obviously in that evolutionary stage where, you know, whether we have sons of Wayne or we have sons of Thug or we have sons of, Chief Keef or, you know, sons of Little B and stuff like that. Like, these are, you can all trace them back to a certain tree, but they all do, well, you'd like to think that a lot of them do their own thing in their own way. I guess it just depends on how far you go with the word original. Because I agree with you, like, no idea is necessarily original, but at the same time, like, you can be wowed by how fresh something sounds, even if it's an update on something. Who do you look at now, like new artists that you consider original in any way?
Who are we considering to be new? Because
Like, anyone post 2016.
It's a tricky one because Drake was already big, so I can't say Heady was original. He just took it to another level. But does that
J
mean
Hus.
original?
J
Yeah,
Hus,
J Hus original.
very original. As you man like to remind me, you know,
He was very late.
I'm
You
an old head, innit? I feel like I'm an old head sometimes. So like I hadn't heard anything like J Hus before, so that was fresh. It sounded really, and it took me a while to get used to because it was so different. I wasn't even quite sure how to listen to him because I just wasn't sure how to. I don't know. I just couldn't quite catch it. Do you know what I mean? Whether it's his vocal, the way his vocal performances, or whether it's lyricism, like I just wasn't sure because it was so different. But he was one of the ones that made me feel like, yeah, I like this. This is new. This is fresh. I fuck with this. Even if I was late, I was like, yeah, I like this guy.
You would love Pa Saliu then. Pa Saliu is kind of from that tree, but he kind of he phones in on like, he's a lot more erratic in his sound.
I see
Like,
J Hus when I see him, man.
well,
Me too.
if you listen
I see
to
J Hus when I see him.
if you listen to enough of his music, you'll realize that they're nothing alike.
Okay.
They're nothing alike.
It's just an easy comparison, I guess.
It's an easy comparison because of how they sound,
Yeah, it's lazy. Yeah.
but generally no.
But he's from that family tree, though.
He's from that family tree, as is Back Row G as well. Back Row G is another one of them, and he's just like, he's like a greasier version of Hus and Pa Saliu combined, and he raps on any type of thing. But more time he's shouting, but he's not really shouting, and you know he'll just say some mad stuff like, you know, I told my girl to off her wig because we're going to war, sort of thing. So
I need to listen to him. That's the shit I need in my life. You're telling your girl off her wig because we're going to war.
Yeah, listen to
I mean,
listen
and
to
wigs can be expensive, you know.
Cause wigs are if it's Peruvian,
Imagine she's got all dolled up, you lot are going out.
you say that shit.
And yeah, you know what I mean?
you see the ops on the corner, yeah,
Disrespectful.
off your wig.
Cause
That's
No
crazy.
who do you think's
consideration.
original, Yemi?
Yeah, I mean J Hus, Pa Saliu, Back Row G. I'd probably say, who else would I say on the American side of things? Even though he's not like 2016, I've always thought Danny Brown was very original because I'd never heard anyone like him before.
But he was from that ODB family tree for me. It still sounded refreshing, but it wasn't that like original.
Well, again, like ODB was revolutionary and Danny Brown's very much, but the difference between them two is Danny Brown was a better rapper, first of all, and second of all, I just felt like for the time that we were in, like we hadn't seen something like that in a while.
Yeah. This guy had like one tooth missing.
Yeah, exactly.
This guy was walking around with
And
one sock.
exactly, and it's not
singlet.
just exactly, and it's not just the lyrical style. It's not just that. It's more so like the look.
Shout out
Like
his life.
he was very much someone who spoke for the hipsters, but also spoke for the drug dealers because he was both. You know, obviously he had the one tooth missing. He could still out rap a lot of
Feel like
people.
DNA fam.
But yeah, man, I thought I think he's always been like quite original. I have a list as well. Mickey Blanco as well. She's transgender and she's dope. She's always been dope because obviously transgender rappers aren't really a thing like that. But also just her style, her delivery, the type of beat she raps over. She's dope. But yeah, man, I think there's definitely like quite a few out there for sure. What you know?
I wouldn't know. I can't think of original off the top of my head. I'm trying to think. I don't think. Maybe it's because of what I listen to. I can't think of any original. Do you know what I mean? Maybe because what I listen to is so repetitive and I know what I like. I can't think of any off the top of the cuff original rappers. I can think of original battle rappers because I love battle rap. So that's something I could do. But if we're talking strictly hip hop, off the top of my head, off the top of the head, I wouldn't be able to think of. I'm trying to think. I think J Hus is the obvious one, but I don't know. I can't think of it.
With the idea that nothing is really original, how much leeway do you give to rappers that come out and sound exactly like someone that's clearly influenced them, i.e. a year-old Drew sounded like a Nas? How much leeway do you give them, and how do you listen to their music? Can you listen to
If
their
it's a
music?
carbon copy, I can't do it.
Okay.
There's a difference. If it's that one,
Even
for
if it's not
example,
intended.
even if it's not intended, if it's a carbon copy like that one, for example, the guy that signed that the Jay-Z one, if it's a if I can't tell the difference, we got a problem here. At least with Action Bronson, you could tell he sounded like Ghost, but it wasn't a carbon. Do you get what I mean? It's a difference when you're a carbon copy of someone.
But if we're gonna say leeway, how many songs are you giving them? Because if you listen to 1 Euro Droog song and tap out because he sounds like Nas, I don't think that's fair. Because if you listen to an album or if you listen to more songs, you'll realize that there's nuances. Yeah. Even though, you know, from the outside looking in, he sounds like him. Like there are nuances to it. There's different styles. There's like different flows and stuff.
It's easy to do one song and check out.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. I nearly did that with Drew when I first listened to him, but I was more interested in the fact that people thought that was actually Nas. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I can't tell the difference between you and the rapper you're sounding like. We got a problem here, sir. Yeah,
but that comes with time, though.
Yeah,
it's the same thing with Bronson. Bronson, I cannot hear any of that Ghostface shit no more. I can't, anyway. Same thing with Jid. A lot of people think that Jid sounds like Kendrick Lamar. I don't really hear it much.
I don't hear that one.
I can hear that.
I remember people used to say Shine tries to sound like Biggie.
I couldn't hear that.
I could hear that.
I can't hear that.
I could hear Shine.
I could not hear
Shine used to try it. What? Shine used to try sound like Biggie
he
hard.
didn't try, man.
He tried to sound like Biggie.
Do you know that's his real voice?
Man said, when I start from scratch, I'll publish song with Def Jam. He tried to sound like Biggie.
No, he didn't, man.
If it's their real
yeah, he bodied that.
If it's their real voice, then what can we do? Like, we can't punish them for that being
rapping.
their real voice. And I feel like with a lot of them, especially like someone like Euro Droog and Action Bronson,
that's their real voices.
That's their real voices. That's New York. That's a New York sound. That's a
but
New
then
York
that's
voice.
where the nuance comes into it, because like if we look past the tonation, it's the rhyming pockets then. Like both of them, man, definitely took from Ghost and Nas. And that's not to say that Bronson, as his music has developed, doesn't sound as much like Ghost. But in those earlier stages, the way Ghost used to have the high pitched when he was getting deep into his storytelling and that, like, you can tell the influence was there in it, and it came across like he was trying to imitate. But then when you listen to his interviews, you can tell that's the way his voice is. But then now that Bronson's rapping style isn't like that anymore, you could pose the question as to whether he was doing that intentionally because of the criticism.
I think he was more so influenced by Ghostface, and that's why he did it. More so than he did it to get somewhere. You know what I'm saying? I feel like, isn't Ghostface like his favourite rapper or something?
Cool G Rap.
Cool G Rap, but he's up there, right?
Yeah.
So, apart from the fact that he's from Queens, like, he sounds like pretty much any other New Yorker, especially Ghostface. He's obviously taken from it. And I feel like, again, like, I think I might have said this on a previous episode, like, some artists might come out sounding like they're influencers, but as they continue to grow, they find themselves.
Sometimes it's difficult to get past it. With Nas and Droog, like, Droog lyrically, I love Droog lyrically. I love his ear for beats as well. But I can't.
You can't get past the sound.
I can't get past it. And I've tried on numerous occasions because I want to like him because of how dope he is. But I just think of Nas every time I listen to him, man. He's like Nas with like more consistent, better beat selections. Do you know what I'm saying? What Nas
could have been, right?
Yeah, that to the side though, like he just, even the rhyming pockets, like just flows, like it's just Nas. Like I think he's got his style is a lot more punchline driven than Nas, but I can still hear it too much, so it's difficult for me to dive into the music. And I'm a massive like Mac Homie fan, and they do a lot of music together. So every time I listen to a song on Mac Homies and Droog's on it, and I hear the verse, it just reminds me of why I can't invest in Droog's music like that. Do you know what I'm saying?
Throws you off.
Salute him though, he's a dope rapper.
I feel like the American rappers get away with that a lot more. In the UK, because it's so small compared to the landscape of rap in the States, you can't do that as much here. Because I feel like people will call it out immediately.
Well, I felt like Mo Stack sounded a lot like J Hus to begin with.
A lot of people said that.
Now I feel like...
I don't see that.
Yeah, man. Just listen, especially when they're together.
Yeah, I don't see that.
Yeah, man, it's obvious. But they're boys, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm a Mo Stack fan. I generally don't see Mo Stack sounding like Hus.
Yeah,
I'm trying to think.
I see that for sure.
Even early Mo Stack, I can't see it. Maybe I just
Who's the guy that Hus had beef with?
Kojo Funds.
Yeah. Was there similarities there between those two?
Nah, I don't think so.
No?
Nah, not really.
Okay.
But
they both got their own lane. They're both good at what they do.
Okay.
Kojo Funds is solid.
For sure. But as time has gone with Mo Stack, I don't really hear that no more.
Yeah. I didn't see it at the start, so I wouldn't see it now personally.
Yeah, man. I'm just wary of like shutting off rappers that are actually talented because they might sound like unintentionally or intentionally, but I want to believe unintentionally sound like someone else.
But it's one thing sounding like someone else, and then you said it's one thing rhyming like that person. If you're rhyming like that person, if you're using the same flows, if you're dipping into the same pockets as that person, there's one thing for voice and one thing for everything else.
You can't help.
I don't know, man.
You can't help
You
for
can't
voice.
help voice,
If
man.
you're actively trying to rap like that person, I mean, dip into the same pockets, use the same flows.
But with Droog though, I don't think he's trying to.
You just think it's you
I
can't
just think
help
that's
it.
just his voice, and the influence is so embedded within him that he can't jump out of that, man.
Then unfortunately, he's got to stay. It's
But what would you say then if Drew came out and he was rapping like, I don't know, ODB? Would you still say this guy sounds like Nas? I can't really listen to him like that.
Nah, because his voice, his vocal inflections might be that of Nas, but the rhyming styles and the pockets is that of ODB. So I would probably be more enticed by
because
that.
it's
'Cause
two different avenues.
Yeah, two different styles.
We're not
meshed together.
Yeah.
Like Kendrick, for me, he's a direct descendant of Andre 3000. Even his verse on Busta's album, when I was listening to the precision and like the multis, I was like, yeah, man, I'm hearing Andre, but because of how his voice sounds,
It's his own way of doing it.
yeah, it's still him. And sometimes I hear Andre, sometimes I hear Eminem in him. Do you know what I'm saying? But because of the way his voice sounds, he can still somewhat get away with it. You can't help but be influenced by how people before you have put their rhymes together. But depending on how your voice is, how you inflect it in different ways, you could get away with using other people's styles.
I guess it goes back then to the idea of, is originality difficult to achieve? Because even if you're using someone else's style or not, but you sound like someone, you still might be, maybe in a negative way or not, be compared to someone in a sense. So I guess it just goes back to the original question. But I do feel you though. Like sometimes you can hear rappers' influences without necessarily hearing the rappers that influenced those rappers to begin with. So I guess it just depends on where you stand with it, really. Like
It's tough.
It's
It's
tough.
very tough because even when Nas first came out, he was getting stick for sounding like Kool G Rap. He had a bar where he was like, Russell Simmons said I sounded like G, the nigga fronted, and he was referring to G Rap. You know what I'm saying? So even Nas got it. People saying Kool G Rap, people saying Rakim.
Yeah.
So if someone as great as a Nas was getting it, it kind of makes you feel like,
And even
it's
before
difficult
Nas,
to be original, man.
even before Nas, like over the last few weeks, I've been listening to a lot of like super old school, like clap your hands type stuff.
Clap your hands, sir.
Yeah. Now I can't, every time I listen to it now, I can't. Every time I think of clap your hands, I think of you. So you've ruined it for me.
Fam, you know what
But,
it is for the
all-
whole
all of them.
Number one. You're
You
not
don't know.
even the best. And you can't win no real MC contest.
I'll kick you in the head if you ever said that to me, fam. Imagine that, fam. Imagine you're in a club, yeah, and you start whining with a girl, you hear, clap your hands, everybody, if you got what it takes. Because I'm and these are
But here's the thing.
Break it up.
break it up.
But here's the thing. They all sounded like that.
Sound like one police station, fam.
They all sounded like Curtis Blow, and they all sounded like Melly Mel.
Yeah.
So there was no real other option.
Yeah.
That's how you sounded.
It was
You had-
working.
Exactly, and it was working. Obviously, as time goes on, the Run DMCs come, the LLs come, the Big Daddies, the Rakims, the Cool Gs, the Slick Ricks. You know, they all come and revolutionize the thing. So I suppose it was okay back then because there weren't as many rappers to sound like. Whereas now there's a massive plethora of people, but also you want to be original yourself. So it is a difficult one.
It's a difficult
It's
one.
interesting to see how like rap has evolved, even UK wise as well. Just looking at the people that came through and birthed certain styles, I wonder if it can be traced. Like, I wonder if it seems as though that, like people like younger than us don't really care to see where things originated. But for us, man, like I think it would be quite interesting to see where certain styles were birthed, because seeing like how the landscape of people spitting here when So Solid were around, to then like when the Dizzies and them man came out, and like, you know, the Wileys and that, I think it would be quite interesting to
See the
to trace
dynamics
that.
change.
Yeah,
with the grime generation, I feel like there was more of a concerted effort to be original. So Dizzy doesn't sound like Wiley, doesn't sound like Kano, doesn't sound like Dirty Goods, or doesn't sound like Jammer, Flirta D, you know what I'm saying? SLK, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So there was more of a concerted effort there. I don't know if that's translated to the current generation, but definitely then. Maybe because like for the UK especially, there was still quite a lot to do. Like we were still behind on the US, because by the time grime comes out in the early 2000s, hip hop is, you know, already hip hop. You know what I mean? So, you know, it's probably a lot easier to trace, to be honest. Here,
UK will be a lot easier.
Yeah, like, I think it's interesting though, man, and I think it's okay with things not necessarily being original, as long as it sounds fresh though.
And you evolve it. Take with it
Fresh
and,
versus-
Yeah, man.
and
like-
evolve
Yeah.
it. At least do something with it. Don't take it and that's it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like Chuck D said, man. Like, not everyone's gonna be like revolutionary, man, and that's okay. We don't want to put pressure on people to like, do it if it's not really within them.
We be here all day.
But I really rate those that are though, that did come through with styles that weren't around before. Like that's now when we're having this conversation is making me think about that, man, and that takes like another level of genius. But at the time when you're creating whatever it is, you don't even know that what you're doing is genius. When I don't even know what example I can give. Even someone like an ODB, and we've mentioned him a few times, but like he didn't know that what he would, and I still stand by this, that what he did was somewhat of a template for like mumble rap. I still stand by that, but he didn't know that that style of not really saying anything but still saying something, but it still being on beat would become a thing. And whether you're a fan of his or not, you just gotta respect it.
For sure. Yeah, you're right. And I guess it's a thing where, like, obviously we want things to keep it fresh. People who are doing new things also need to have faith in what they're doing as well, because obviously it's very easy to join the crowd. And it's very easy to come out with something original. I've even come up with Octavian. Octavian was very, very original when he came out. Now not as much, as he's embraced more trap sounds and stuff like that, but he's still like, there was no one like him, and there's still no one like him in the UK. So yeah, man, it's just having faith in what you're doing, and just being consistent with it. You'll be good. You'll be good. So I guess to answer the question, depends on how you look at it.
Yeah.
There's no right or wrong answer to this one.
I'm trying to think of like a rapper that really came in with like a new style that we hadn't seen before.
Well, recently,
No, just over like just historically.
I
didn't hear Chief Keef style before Chief, and this ain't even me capping.
I don't know what his style is though.
Drill.
So rapping over that type of beat.
Yeah.
Okay.
And even that's the rhyming patterns, the words.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
the
that's
slang,
an example of.
I
original.
never heard
Yeah.
nothing like Chief Keef before. He
But
started
then,
rapping.
shouldn't we give more credence to the producer?
Who,
What, Young Chop?
Young Chopper.
Yeah.
No, because he still got rap how he raps.
Yeah, but he made that type of beat though. If we hadn't heard that type of beat before, that's something.
It goes hand in hand.
Okay.
It's got
I think
it goes
I
hand
think
in
the
hand.
song has to bang for you to appreciate the production more.
It works
So
together.
if you gave it to just any old Donny, like, it might not have banged as much.
If you gave it to Murder Mook, it's not going nowhere.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
They might think, why is he rapping on this
Exactly.
bullshit? Yeah.
Would you say Young Thug's one?
No, because I feel like he's from Lil Wayne's family tree, so I don't feel like anything he did was original. Apart from even like the off-kiltered singing, that's Wayne when Wayne picked up the guitar. Do you know what I'm saying? So he might have put like a tad bit of a splash of spice on it, but
Yeah, the little
it's
Maggie
still,
Cube.
it's still not enough for me to be like.
Fair enough.
And even the way Young Thug has done it is it's influenced a lot of the man that come after him. So respect, but I'm still trying
He's
to
still
think.
I would say Chief. That's my vote, but you might go.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
ODB is a very good one.
I think Mos Def was like one of the first rap singers.
Biz Markie, mate.
LL?
Biz Markie.
Was it LL singing rapping?
No, LL never did that.
Biz
He just
Markie.
made very like good like love songs.
Yeah.
Biz Markie. Yeah, Biz
Yeah,
Markie.
Biz Markie.
You can say Biz Markie. Yeah, but I feel like Mos Def took it to another level though, and Mos Def was actually singing quite well. And then Andre took it somewhere else. He like passed the baton, and then it just kept being a thing. And then now we have like a Drake who.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we don't want to say that to be original. The only way you be original is be the first to do something, because it's just.
I mean,
not
that's essentially what it is though.
Yeah, but it's way
Even
more
if you don't do it that well.
it's way more complicated than that though, because once someone has rap sung, you can't say you're original. You know what I'm saying? So there's a
No, you
fine
can't. Okay, yeah, I get what you're
there's a finite number of people that can probably say, if we're gonna put it by that definition, that are truly original. I feel like you can probably say maybe no more than like, I don't even know, like 20, 30 artists that are truly original.
Yeah,
That's kind of mad.
So I guess it's more leaning towards what you do that is an update or something that's just a little bit different to what's already there.
Yeah.
I would love for us to make that list though, like the 20 to 30 rap artists that we feel were completely original in their style. I would love to do that. I think we should.
That's a 3-hour topic.
But yes.
Peter's right here, boy.
All right, so we're going to move on to the final topic now, the fun one. Peter, you came up with this one.
Yes, sir.
And he's basically given us the challenge, the rather exciting challenge, I must say, of picking our favourite hip-hop rumours or what could have been moments in hip-hop. Now, obviously, there are lots of those, whether it's, you know, outrageous rumours about artists or, you know, execs or managers or, you know, albums or singles that could have been but never happened. So while there are a lot, I could barely think of any, but I know Peter's got a few.
Yeah, man. So I'll start this off with saying that one of my favourite could have been moments was, let me paint the picture here.
Oh.
Jay-Z releases, Jay-Z's recording Reasonable Doubt, right? Circa 96.
With Source Money.
Let me close my eyes.
Don't say it. Like. Yeah, I mean, but yeah, he's recording the Reasonable Doubt.
Okay.
He's recording the tunes, banger after banger. He's got a song. He's got a song in mind that he wants to do in it. He's got a song called "Bring It On," and initially it had no features. On this song he wanted Nas and AZ.
Okay.
Right.
The firm.
He reached out to Nas and AZ a few times. They kept saying, "Yeah, I'm gonna come true."
Okay.
Did they come true? They never came true.
They left him on red.
They did, yeah. They just kept stuck in the studio session.
Yeah, they blue ticked him.
Yeah, he ended up
They blue
putting.
ticked him. Man.
He ended up putting Source Money and Jazzo on it.
So it was Source Money.
Yeah.
See, I knew it.
Yeah. So that's one of my favorite moments. Like Nas and AZ being on "Bring It On," produced by, I think Primo produced that. That would have been bad. And just the fact that it was Reasonable Doubt, I think it would have changed a lot of hip hop stories going forward, because I feel like that was like probably where a bit of the tension between Jay and Nas might have started, because Jay was probably feeling a bit like, yo, I'm trying to pull you in, like, come, let's make some music together because I rate you. I've sampled your voice, innit? Let's actually do a song. Let's actually do a song together. Do you know what I mean? But the fact
Which would have been the original source of the contention.
Yeah.
But we won't talk about that.
So the fact that Nas was ducking, that probably created a bit of the tension. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, that was like, when I heard that rumor and I heard Dame Dash actually confirmed that. So when I heard that, I was just like, rah,
bro,
what could have been?
Replacing Nas and AZ with Source Money and Jazzo.
Don't do that.
Is that replacing Mo Salah and Sadio Mane with Kevin Lisby and Jason Yule?
Kevin Lisby.
You say
Kevin Lisby.
Jason Yule.
Jason Yule.
That's amazing.
Hold tight, Jason Yule.
That Charlton team was all right, man.
It was.
It was actually okay.
No, listen.
Circa
03, 04, it was banging.
It was
It was in
okay,
UEFA Cup. It was in the top 6. Like, it was banging.
Chris Powell.
Powell,
leading
Scott
the back line.
Parker.
Was Lee Hendry in it as well? I saw that song called
Did
Lee
he play for
Hendry.
Charlton?
No, he played for West Ham.
He played for
No, he played for
Villa.
Aston Villa. He played for Villa.
Yeah.
He played for Villa.
They bodied that. Like, I think Jazzo had the best verse on that song. He bodied that.
I'm jesting, but you know.
Yeah, man.
fine.
So that was like one of my favorite could have been moments.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Mohammed. Thank you for painting the picture, by the way.
You're welcome.
Yeah, that was amazing. I don't have nothing like Peter. Peter is a nerd. I just want to point that out there, but this guy knew SAS something to get dreams. Peter's a different animal, fam.
Shout out
I
to
had
SAS.
two. Originally, I had Big Daddy King was supposedly signed to Santa Machiavelli. I don't know how true that is. I just heard that a long time
That's
ago.
true. They've actually got a song together.
Yeah, but
And I've got the song.
Wait,
Oh,
when you say Machiavelli, do you mean Tupac's own label?
Tupac's on label.
Not Death Row.
No, it was meant to be Tupac's on label.
I think it was actually Death Row East.
Was it?
Actually, no, you might
No, it
be
was
right.
Tupac's on label.
Yeah,
Tupac
sure,
was planning to go. Tupac was planning to, because Tupac went on MTV and he said he's got Death Row East. But supposedly behind the scenes, Tupac was planning to go take everything and chip and leave Death Row, kind of circle what Dr. Dre done essentially, and make Machiavelli. And Big Daddy King was meant to be the pinnacle signing. That one. And I was also thinking, because remember 50 originally said he wanted to keep Hate or Love It and he wanted to keep How We Do. So imagine if he kept both songs and SAS kept Dreams. What would happen to the game?
Whew. That's a good one. I feel like that was a low key topic. I feel like we were going to talk about what would have happened if 50 would have kept the 6 or 7 tunes that he had on Game's first album.
So what happened to the game?
He still have put you on the game. To be fair,
And that's my favorite song on the album. Well, it's up there anyway. I love that beat. That beat's amazing, but that's not enough.
it's probably not enough.
That's not enough.
Well, I will say that the documentary obviously wouldn't have been as successful.
We don't know that.
it wouldn't have been successful.
Dr. Dre might have actually
me.
started.
Dreams,
me.
hate it or love it,
How we do?
how we do.
Hear me out, guys.
That's 3 monsters.
Dr. Dre might have actually started producing again.
Pete.
And he produced what's that story, no?
Pete, you're not getting.
He produced it. Quote unquote.
Yeah, air quotes.
Yeah, air
yes,
quotes.
please.
But you're not getting how we do hate or love it. You're not getting them 3. And I love Dre. Those 3 were different animals.
Yeah.
And obviously 50, because 50 originally said the reason why 50 gave hate or love it to the game is because he was talking about his mum kissing a girl and he didn't know how his fans were going to react to that.
Oh, is that why?
That's why he gave the game the song, because he was like, I didn't know how my fans were going to react to me being so open.
I thought it was because Game was struggling to
That
do hooks.
too. But the hate or love it, I know hate or love it in particular was that reason. But the reason why he gave a lot of the songs to him is because Game had no thought of how to make a song and write hooks. So 50 had to hear me.
Yeah, because if 50 keeps all those songs,
50's looked at differently
50's
too.
second album's different.
Yeah, exactly.
And that might be back-to-back flawless albums. The Massacre might end up being a flawless album.
I'm glad you said that, because if you take them away from documentary, then not as good, nowhere near as good. And if you put them on 50s, he's got 2 classics.
It's changes
Probably.
both convos.
Probably.
Yeah.
It changes. I think it changes both careers as well.
Yeah, 100%.
For sure.
The game's not going to have a career that he's got.
And with
That's
that,
normal.
he might have beaten Ye in that battle with Curtis.
Ooh.
In graduation. He might have.
And then that changes that too.
Yeah, because we don't know what Curtis becomes.
Exactly.
Ooh.
Could have altered a lot. He might not have been so haphazard with Rick Ross too.
Oh, I done all right with this topic.
All right, mate.
You actually did all right with it.
I done
Well
all
done.
right, cuz.
Yeah, well done.
Knocked it out of the park.
Hey,
That was a good one. That
What
was
can
a
I
good
say? And then even the Rick Ross beef, you're right. It's looked at differently.
That might not have even happened though.
Yeah. We might not have power.
Hey.
We might not have vitamin water.
Wow. That might be a good topic to have one day.
Why you got to say it like that?
What did he say?
What?
We might not have vitamin water.
We might not.
That's shade.
We might.
You're so
That
funny.
sounded
I've,
so
I've never had it.
shady.
I've never had it. I've never
had
had it.
vitamin water?
I
It's
just.
not, it's not nice, but
There you go.
respect
I
the
just.
hustle, innit?
I just see the.
I sold it for Coca-Cola, bought it for billions.
I've just watched the video where he slipped on his own water in it. That's the only interaction with vitamin water that I've had. So shout out to 50 in it.
Nah, shout out to 50, man. That was. Yeah.
What's yours, Jam?
My one. I won't paint as big a picture as Peter, but I'll paint a picture.
Let's go.
So it's well, I don't want to say, I don't know what season it is, but it's like 07.
Okay.
You have one of the hottest rappers in the game, Kanye West.
Kanye.
You have another one of the hottest rappers in the game, and Lupe Fiasco.
Hey.
And you have like the eternally dope Pharrell Williams. They've come together and they've made a song called Us Places. And they call themselves a supergroup known as Child Rebel Soldier. Now the song Us Places samples The Eraser by Tom York. Very mellow piano riff produced by Lupe, which is wow, since you got Pharrell in
I
there.
was just about to say that. We'll continue.
Yeah, for real. But they all rap on it. Very, very dope song. And they did the remix of NERD's Everybody Knows as well. So Kanye and Lupe were featured on that remix. I think it was on a NERD mixtape or something. I think they were featured on Kanye's Can't Tell Me Nothing mixtape as well, on another tune. They had planned to do an album. According to Lupe, who was doing most of the talking about it, it was going to get done, this, that, and the other. Over the years, obviously, each of their trajectories went on a different way, and it just never materialized. Now, if it had done, that would have been easily like one of the most exciting albums to come out from that decade, or any of a recent memory, because not only do you have Lupe, who's just like on a roll at that point, Pharrell, who, you know, most of the time doesn't miss when it comes to the production, and even, you know, on the song Us Places he was rapping fairly well, and Ye as well, you know, coming off of graduation as well, he was on the run of his life.
That would have been different
Yeah,
class.
that'd have been mad.
That would have been different class.
That would have been different class.
But for one reason or another, it never happened. I don't want to say that Lupe's salty about it, because he respects Pharrell and Kanye's trajectories. But I feel like there's that want there to make it happen. Which
I think he knows what he would have done in it.
And it probably won't
Yeah,
ever
that's
happen
never
now.
happening.
Yeah, he knows what it would have done.
He knows what it would have done, not only for him, but just for hip hop in general. So, yeah, I'm still waiting, even though I'm waiting in vain.
Yeah,
That would have been different.
It would have been great,
especially
man.
in those times as well. It would have been really good, man.
For sure, man. And these were the times when hip hop wasn't great, man. We had the Laffy Taffy.
The Laffy Daffy.
We had Mims, This Is Why I'm Hot. You know,
No, we've been through hell with this hip hop.
No, there was a period. That was
the
really
mid
bad.
2000s was bad.
There was a period that was really,
Man,
really bad.
Yeah, we've been through a lot, man. And you man wonder why like I'm so snobbish. Those moments there created me. They are, but that's the reason I am the way I am.
Is that your origin story?
100%. Because after I endured that, and then I started receiving great music, I vowed to never like
Go back to that stage in your life again.
Yeah, I was never just gonna like allow myself to be subjected to such trash music.
Peter vowed.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man.
No, honestly, we went through a lot. I've got another one.
Go ahead.
What if Kendrick and Cole made the album together that they were meant to?
I think it would have been all over the place, man.
You think so?
Yeah,
I think so too.
Yeah, now
You don't think they'll be able to figure it out?
looking at it now,
Look at High Power.
I'm okay if it never happens.
Yeah, but let's add a Cole verse to that song.
It don't hit.
It don't hit as well. There you go. There you go.
I think they're too, but I think that they're too musically gifted to not figure it out. I think they're too good to not figure out.
It's got to be patience there, though.
100%. But you know when you just think that, I think they're too solid not to figure it out. I've been waiting on that a long time. I've given up.
I don't know how, because I'm still kind of like burnt by the tune Forbidden Fruit. When I saw that Kendrick feature and all he did was the hook.
He didn't really. Yeah,
he didn't even do the hook.
I liked his hook though.
I love that song. Me and my.
I liked the hook, but I wanted more, especially on that beat.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
did you rate the beat?
Yeah, the beat was
That's
cool.
the tribe sample, right?
The tribe sample, yeah, the Mystic Bounce. It would be all over the place. I feel like one of them would have to take the lead on each song.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Whether that's the way they did J. Cole rapping on All Right and Kendrick rapping on The Tale of Two Cities. Maybe they could do something like that and then maybe join for a couple tunes in the middle.
Kendrick bodied that, by the way, compared to Cole.
You know what they should do? They should do, and this won't relate to you because you can't relate, but Madlib and J Dilla's album.
You know, I was just thinking that.
Champion Sound. So the way that worked was...
But how would that work with... Because Kendrick's not a producer.
He's not a producer, but what he can do is he can essentially... Maybe he can outsource the production and maybe do a hook on every song.
So you don't want them rapping on every song?
I don't necessarily want them rapping on every song together.
Okay. Well, you want a tape from them.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
You would want one, right?
To be honest, I would take it in any form it is. I'd take it in any form.
I've got one.
What?
I'm not going to paint much of a picture here, but Girls, Girls, Girls by Jay-Z, produced by Just Blaze, was originally meant for Ghostface. Imagine if Ghostface would have had that. He would have been serenading so hard on that tune.
Would he though?
What Ghost?
It'd just be a lot of non sequiturs over a luscious beat.
Girls. And what Ghost would have been like, Tony Starks.
100% he would. 100% he would.
Bro, Ghost would have spazzed on that.
100% he would have.
What would he have done?
Tony Starks.
Bro, non sequiturs
Yo,
all over the place.
He
bro.
would have spazzed on that.
Just chatting stream of consciousness
salute.
madness.
Hey, yo, love, I love you. What? Nah, Ghostface would have spazzed on that, man.
I still sound.
Yo, love, I love you like a chinchilla in 88. One name of a mafia guy here. One name of a Black Panther here.
Cinnamon Crunch.
88, 81, 82.
I love Ghost,
It
man.
works for Thing, bruv.
No, it works for him. It only works for him.
No, I said it works for
He would
Jay-Z.
have he would have killed
Oh,
that.
yeah, for sure.
It
No,
works
Ghost
for Jay-Z
would have
more.
killed
No,
that.
he would
man.
have.
I don't
but
know, bro.
Girls, Girls, Girls is a Jay-Z song. Come on, man.
If he did what Jay was doing, 100%. But he would not do what
Ghost
Jay
could
was
have done
doing.
that. Ghost could have definitely done that.
He can, but he
You
wouldn't
know
have.
that Ghost
But he
raps
wouldn't
on
have.
that type of
But
beat.
he
though.
wouldn't have.
He wouldn't have done what Jay did.
I think he would have, man.
This
I
guy
don't
would have
think
told
he
me
would.
master father than laugh.
I don't think he would.
No, bro. You go back, listen to Ghost's catalog, man. He's got a wild song called Wildflower, where he's like just talking really hurt, upset language, where his girl's cheated on him and he's just blacking out. And if you listen to a song like that, man, the complete opposite is a song like Girls, 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 where he's just serenading. He would do it, and even when you hear him on Holler, bro, he was serenading all over that. What do you think he would have done on that?
I mean, he would definitely start with "I'm from the place where fish was made."
I salute to Ghost.
Because you gotta have that. shit.
Yeah, you gotta
Salute
You
to
gotta have that,
Ghost,
yeah.
man.
have that, man.
That was a good one.
Yeah,
That
I've
was a
got
little
one
bit.
more. Nas was supposed to be on Biggie's Machine Gun Funk. That was supposed to be a remix. Nas was apparently in the studio with Biggie, but apparently he got too high to record and he had to leave.
Swear.
Quote unquote. It was either that or he was just shook.
Nas wasn't very reliable in the 90s, was he?
Probably not, no.
No. Coming where he came
For real, right?
You know what I'm saying?
But
Damn,
yeah,
I'm
no,
with
those are like some of my favorite what if moments, man.
Do you think that would have added anything to his legend?
Yeah, of course, because like Yeah, man. Like Nas was like, he's one of the few rappers that were like hot when like Biggie and Tupac were alive.
That would have been amazing.
That would have been mad.
That would have been amazing.
Well, thank you guys for that wonderful topic. And just before we finish off, it's been announced that Biggie has been officially inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Big up.
So,
Hey, salute, man.
big up and rest in peace to Biggie.
Way too
Tupac
long.
been inducted.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was a couple years
Tupac
ago.
has. Took way too long, but I guess they
Yeah,
got
it took a
when they
while,
got to
but
it.
you know, it's here now. So big ups to Biggie and big ups to everybody involved.
Salute to one of the goats.
For sure. And yeah, that'll do it for us for episode 40. So thank you for tuning in and all that. We'll see you next time. Until then, you know, as I said before, very, very grateful for everyone that listens. Here's to the next 40.
Hey, we gonna rock like crack when it came in.
What?
Bar.
No, the last time that gets holler.
It's a bar.
That's an amazing bar.
It's a bar. But follow us wherever you get your podcast. Follow us on the socials at Rams Dimes Pod. And yeah, man, we'll see you next time.
Yeah, man. Peace.
Salute.
Until then, take care and peace.